Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to Embracing What is Real. I'm your host, Helane Lipson. Embracing What's Real is the forum to explore the nature of reality and the impact our current belief systems have on our lives. All of our deep-rooted old beliefs are what many of us use to judge ourselves and our actions. Our current belief systems impact every single choice we make. So when we feed our spirit with new, empowering ideas about the meaning of life, the meaning of our lives change.
Hello, this is Helane Lipson on In5D Radio. Welcome to Embracing What is Real. I hope all the intense energies are treating you well. For me, it's been a beautiful week. I've been riding the wave of good vibes from this past weekend where I got the chance to work with Mr. In5D himself, the fabulous Greg Prescott, in planning for the Return to Atlantis conference. And this is more than just an event in the physical, you know. Our intent is to change the ley lines of this geographic area and subsequently the East Coast. And in putting together this Return to Atlantis conference, we're cleansing this particular geographic area where Gaia experienced some of the most significant damage to the grid during Atlantean times through the misuse of technology. At this point, so many people have felt this strong calling to be part of this intense restoration and have also felt how extremely significant this event is. So Friday, the night of October 4th, we're going to be having a new moon galactivation on the 99% quartz crystal sand of Lido Key Beach, said to be part of the remains of Atlantis, with Mark, Dr. Dream Peebler, and his band of angels, and some of the most powerful healers and light workers and star seeds to infuse the land, Gaia, with high interdimensional energies and cleanse and recalibrate and open a vortex which has just been waiting to open again. Very powerful, yeah. Greg and I are also creating this event to connect soul families, light workers, star seeds, way showers who have a knowingness about what they're meant to do here on this planet, but have also felt so alone and separate from people who just don't understand them. It's almost as though if we come together with like-minded, vibrationally matched people, we'll start to find other people who came in with a similar soul lineage and who have a similar mission to our own. And we'll be more ready than ever to co-create. So Greg and I are hosting a huge beach party for all our guests and our speakers on Saturday night, October 5th, catered by Earth Origins, best organic food ever. And there's going to be music and dancing, and it's going to be a love fest. Trust me. So you can buy your tickets. Finally, I didn't even mention, we have 6 great speakers: Laura Magdalene Eisenhower, Teal Scott, Lisa Renee, Tom Lesher, Dr. Dream, and Andrew Bartzis. And yes, since we're only selling 90 tickets and we're selling out fast, you can catch this event through live stream. Tickets are still on sale, though, and you can visit in5devents.com for more information. Anyway, I have a great guest here with me today, Andrew Bartzis, and he's going to blow your mind. He is actually one of the speakers in the Return to Atlantis event I was talking about, and I know him best as the galactic historian, reader of the akashic records, universally and also individually. He's so incredibly powerful, and he has such great information to share. Andrew has been an active healer and psychic reader for nearly 20 years. He's a Reiki master and a shaman with many talents in the spirit world. He's dedicated to empower all people with the knowledge to heal themselves and their families. He can be found at andrewbartzis.com, and he's here with us right now. I'd like to welcome Andrew Bartzis. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Helane. It's finally wonderful to be on another show with you. I've missed you so much since Mount Shasta.
I miss you too. Yeah, I'm just like, yay, you're here with me and you're talking to me. And like I say, all is well with the world. So happy. Thank you so much for coming on the show. How are you doing? How is it going for you these days?
I'm settled into Seattle right now. As you know, I went from Mount Shasta to Sacramento and hung out with the Atlantis for a day, and you were there with us. And then I went back to Mount Shasta. And from Mount Shasta, we went to Seattle to do karmic reservation in DFA. And then from DFA back here to Seattle.
Wow. And then I'm going to see you again in Mount Shasta, and that's really exciting too. So yay, yay, yay. You know, I'm having a hard time hearing you, Andrew. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I hear you again. Good, good, good. So I want to start off this interview, and I know we're going to be taking callers in a little while, but I do want to talk to you a bit. I want to start off by asking you what it means to be the galactic historian. What it even means to read the Akashic records.
Well, first thing first is to explain what the Akashic record is. It is a recording of every sentient person's life that's ever been lived on this planet, past, present, and future. When a sentience comes to a planet, it takes on a DNA code. That code becomes a physical skin suit. That skin suit is an experiential suit that allows the projection of the soul to take root within that body and to have the experience of the reality matrix that planet is. And the reality matrix of the planet is a crystalline substructure 30 to 40 miles below the surface of the Earth, and that crystalline substructure is a network of crystals layered throughout the granite layers that is actually the storage system of every sentient life that has ever happened on this planet. For me, the galactic historian, the only way to read the Akashic records is to have no political dogmas, no religious concepts or political motivations or really scientific nothing. You simply read the record for what it is. And expressions of a person's sentient existence, and a sentient existence cannot be viewed in polarity because you're not that sentience that is that existence. Therefore, to read the Akashic record, one must come known as the sacred neutral perspective, and that is the perspective where there is no polarity in your words. To read the records in a non-trance state the way I am, there's a part of me that's 1 second of the future, part of me that's 1 second in the past, part of me that's in the North Pole, Aurora Borealis, where our ancestral spirits began to live, and there's another part of me that's in the South Pole, where our astral realms are, where the waiting migrations of souls are ready to come in. With all of those pieces, parts in place, each one takes a sacred neutral perspective and allows me to create a natural field of no time around me. And you've personally experienced the no time field that I've been able to create. And once I create the no-time field, the records are there in the limitless stream, and it's a matter of the type of questions that are being asked to me. And for every question that's asked, it opens up a whole new paradigm of additional questions because the answers are so great and profound. My service is to read the record in the sacred neutral and to discover how to translate it into neutral, non-dogmatic terminology that allows our human linguistics to truly understand the intonation and vibration patterns within the message, because within the message is the actual code file, the infinite code of the Akashic record. And if what I'm reading relates to you on a soul code level or on a soul family level, it resonates at such a level that it awakens parts of you that are aware of past lives but aren't fully in understanding of it.
Wow. Wow. And everything coming from the sacred, neutral perspective. And so your job as a galactic historian?
Is to read, to be the presenter of the sacred neutral of the akashic record of Earth, so that we have the big picture of what's going on, because our history has been hijacked, our world has been hijacked. Everything that we know is upside down and inside out in a paradox. And the paradox that we live in is a remedy for all the other paradoxes we experienced when there was a series of timeline genocide wars where entire 180 billion people were eliminated and murdered via timeline removal. And then another first species was put in, and then that species removed, and another one put in. And at that point, when you do timeline genocide at that scale of people, their record, their sentience is still in the akashic record. And because the akashic record cannot be erased and it cannot be altered, it is a natural existence. When you create timeline genocide, people literally get caught in paradox, and the only way to resolve paradox is to create new paradoxes. So there were many people in the first Lemurian fall, before they reemerged from the timeline genocide, that they literally killed themselves, and other people that killed themselves dozens and dozens of times, until the vast majority of the people from the Lemurian to the Atlantean downfalls are functioning with 25 or 35 or 40 different paradoxes, where they physically eliminated themselves because they didn't understand how the whole timeline war shaped up, and it turned out there were 72 first species of Earth because of timeline genocide.
Wow. So you're talking about the grid being hijacked. So who is responsible for this invasion, or who are the people, or who are the entities that hijacked our grid?
Well, that's a bit of a long story. I've talked about this many times. The actual hijacking of our incarnation grid happened after the fourth assault on Earth, and where Earth had been captured and has been captured and teleported 12 times, and there were 9 refortifications. The dark captured it, refortified. The light recaptured, they fortified, so on and so forth. So right around in between the fourth and fifth teleportation and refortification is where a group of multidimensional beings that were 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th dimensional beings, 15 separate ones, found Earth in a battle between light and dark, where different galactic prime creators had put this war concept into this galaxy because they needed change, and the static realities that they created in a free will universe needed change, and Earth was the target of all of these systems and all of these interactives of different dramatic lines. And these beings implanted themselves in here and began to play the light forces and dark forces off of each other, making the war worse and worse and worse, until finally they were literally to hijack the planet away from both forces of light and darkness. And they are the ones that created the Archon grid. They are the ones that are in control of our incarnation grid. And they're the ones that determine if soul families get to meet this lifetime.
That's it. I mean, it's fascinating. Obviously I was with you at Mount Shasta when you were downloading the galactic history of the last 52 million years, and it was mind-blowing stuff. And I saw some of the excerpts of this video, and some of this information you're sharing right now, or, what you briefly shared, is really, you elaborate on that extensively in each video.
I've recorded almost 25 hours of video. That'll be released here in the next couple weeks. There's still some significant video editing and preparation that needs to finish it, as well as preparing the transcript so people can read it on their own.
So cool. I cannot wait till it's released. I'm counting the days.
Right. There's so much to even explain about when it comes to the incarnation, the hijacked incarnation grid, the archons, the forces of light and darkness, each presenting their own plan, their own concept for Earth. And as you said at the beginning of the show, I'm here to empower everyone to heal themselves and their family. And the true freedom that we get to free ourselves from the situations that here is the self-sovereignty movement, where you fully understand how your consent has been taken away from you, how your free will has been mined from you over a series of thousands of lifetimes, until finally the vast majority of the people that live on this planet function at less than 20 or 25% of their total available energy. Thus, they can never reach the consciousness exploration level to truly learn what their skin suit can do. The most important thing to understand is our skin suits is the technology that everyone wants. Period. It is your skin suit. It is the Corvette of all skin suits. It's the Porsche of all skin suits. It does everything where the vast majority of the other skin suits in the galaxies are so limited compared to what we can do.
Yeah.
We have an emotional body uncompared to any of the others. We are able to multidimensionally function through our body and still be able to be in multiple places at once, create multiple avatars with our body, manifest it in the body out of thin air, or create and turn it into energy.
I just think about the information. I mean, I think about. I remember I was a caller on your show on Adventures in Reality, June 3rd, and you gave me a reading that blew my mind. Because there's so many things. We talk about our human skin suits and what we're aware that we can do and what we're not aware we can do, and many of us are not aware of all we are.
That's
and
right.
Even somebody like me, I've been on the spiritual path for years, and some of the information you shared resonated so deeply with me. I knew it was true, yet it wasn't brought out, or I didn't realize these things, and I'm sure that so many people that you speak to also experience the same thing, where they know it's true, but they can't believe it.
That's my purpose. That's me riding the razor's edge of the sacred neutral, bringing as much information forward to a person that doesn't violate their sovereign free will of contracts to discover it on their own. There's so much information that's been purposely hijacked from our natural knowledge and wisdom that, like the reading that I gave you, it was meant to be because we should have known about that species thousands of years ago, because they're a part of our history and our heritage, and they actually lived on our worlds for many years and co-created with us, as did thousands of other species. For a while, Earth was the refugee planet. If there was other planets in domination and control, their planets were destroyed. They came to Earth to be nursed back to health so they could see the new planet and get a new homeworld.
So interesting. And, in a little while, we are going to be taking callers. Not quite yet, and we do have a lot of callers waiting here to ask questions. And not quite yet.
I had to close down my 4-day-a-week reading show. It had gotten to be quite a bit, and there were a series of snafus with the radio station that I was on, and I'm going to be transitioning to webinars and live streams here, and you are going to be welcome to be a part of any of those because you're an absolutely wonderful person.
Oh, thank you so much, and I would love to be part of anything you do. You know that. Mm-hmm. So I want to tell callers, though, that are waiting, and there's a lot of callers, when you call in with a question, I don't want to hear calls like, does Johnny love me, or will I have a baby, or will I make more money? I'd like questions to be limited to the information that would showcase the talents of our galactic historians. So I would like your questions to be about what your life mission is, or soul lineage, or what's in the akashic records. And now, callers, remember, just hang on, and we're going to get to you soon. But if try to limit your questions to akashic records, soul lineage, life mission stuff. And I want to ask you, Andrew, what is happening in the here and now for humanity? What's happening right now?
I'll answer that question in a second. For those people that are going to call in that are familiar with the show, just remember that this audience and me not all be familiar, and those others that are listening to many of these archives. If you want me to do a species identification as a quick tree of who you are, I'll limit that to like 5 or 6 minutes, unless somebody has a really, really good question, I can get it longer because I know there's a lot of people waiting. What's happening in our world right now is disunity paradox reality is being reverse engineered by unity consciousness that's existing in the future right now. And we, the people that are the ones standing in our freedom and our sovereignty, are reaching a point where we're creating a standing wave in disunity paradox to create unity consciousness.
It was a little shaky. You were coming in and out for me. I don't know. I hope that everybody else heard that. But the basic gist of what I heard you saying was we are declaring our sovereignty.
Yes, declaring our sovereignty and creating a standing wave of energy inside a paradox to end a paradox. We're creating paradox inside paradox because the remedy to all the timeline genocide wars was to create a paradox that we all live in disunity. And the paradox of disunity was to keep us in a situation until everyone on all of the timeline genocide scenarios can be brought back to Earth to be reintegrated into this universe, because when you had a series of timeline genocide wars, many people literally got locked out of the universe and were stuck in between universal spaces.
Wow. And so what's going to happen to them now?
Well, there's over 108 billion of them that were locked out. Many of them figured out very simple ways to find a way back here. And those are the people that have one part here in the world and the rest of their parts out in the in-between universe parts. And for those people that are familiar with soul retrieval or soul journeying to go and find your various soul fragments or soul shards, it's similar in concept to that, but you literally have to be in the space in between universes. Such a large portion of the Lemurian society, like as many as 2/3 of the society, literally got locked out. So that's how much soul family we are literally missing, or parts of ourselves. Imagine if a past life of yours no longer existed in this universe and was no longer the train of the ever-present co-creative you.
Wow. Okay? That's happened to so many.
That's happening to so many of us, that we are now living in paradox because such a part of us is missing, isn't allowed to live, cannot exist within our paradox.
Wow. So how can they, I don't understand, so what's going to happen to them?
When you declare your sovereignty, recall your free will, and understand the system that we live in is a cannibal system that's meant by its very nature to keep us limited in paradox, and that it's been hijacked from every which way from Sunday on purpose, because everyone that's here is a very high energy being, and they want them in domination and control. So when there is a graduation event, they can hijack all the graduators and put them somewhere else and keep them trapped and controlled, so they can continue to feed off of them.
Wow. I know, I saw on your, first of all, people had sent me 8 pages, and I printed them up, of declarations of sovereignty, where we declare our free will against the government, against the banking system. Where can our listeners find these declarations of sovereignty to read?
You can go to my webpage, andrewbartzis.com, and on the left side you'll see a bunch of tabs. At the bottom you see Removal of Contracts tab, and there's a list of a whole bunch of them there. The top ones, the shorter ones, are examples and frameworks for people to create their own. Then you'll see one for media, one for banking, and one for government, specific for those 3. And those have really gone viral all over the country, all over the world. And there are many people that are having incredible personal experiences when they begin to do these, because they're experiencing their sovereignty. And the framework of those contract removal shows you how deep this goes. They have us at the soul family level. They have us at the monetary level. They have us at the time travel level. They have us at every level of existence and are literally keeping us in this paradox.
Yeah. Well, they were extremely powerful. I remember when we were reading it by the fire on the solstice, and our friend Katie was reading it out loud, and everybody there was just, I had chills, and it propelled me into an entirely different state and really affected everything that was to follow for me. So I would highly recommend people listening to the show finding those declarations of sovereignty and reading them out loud. Beautiful. I wanted before I take callers, and I know we keep getting more and more callers, but I want to talk about dream time. I know I've come to realize I'm a dream weaver, and that what I am creating in dreams actually becomes reality. I've also had people step into my dreams. I think I told you I was shooting liquid out of my eyes, and they were actually codes that could be read. And I knew I had that dream. And then I got a call from somebody that said, good work. We were doing that work together. I saw you shooting that out of your eyes and reading these. So in other words, people were actually in my dreams and part of my dreams. And then I've had experiences where I've created a dream while I was up, actually. Somebody observed a dream, and then other people dreamed my dream.
You've been holding
3 people.
You've been holding space for others to dream into your dream world. Like the reading I gave you, I explained to you that the insectoid species that you were a part of and how you were a queen linked to the dream world of all those others there. And when you came to this world, you brought many of those psychic skills and talents. And, there were numerous situations in that reading where not only did it align to your personal vibration and resonation, it began showing itself to you over the period of weeks of how much it was a part of you. You just weren't aware of it, though.
Yeah.
And the tears, the liquid coming out of your eyes is literally the code, because the insectoid species, what they can do is create a liquid, and that liquid has all of the codes that only the other insectoid species can understand. It's a way of transferring information that can never be understood unless you are linked to the hive mind.
So what exactly, for our listeners listening in, what exactly is the process of creating reality through dreams? I don't know how I'm doing it, exactly what I'm doing, but it's happening. Is there a process, or what is it that people can do?
Yes, I've got a little bit of foundation that has to be included first. The first part of the foundation is we have a physical body that exists in this reality matrix. When we go to sleep, there's a chemical process that turns the physical body down and allows us to release a set of chemicals that releases the locks on our energy body and allows us to experience the dream world. Think of it like tuning a radio in. And once you're tuned into the dream world, you can leave your body, or you can project from your body, or you can remote experience from your body. So not all dreaming is the same. So there's many different ways to dream. When one enters the dream time, you have to understand that there are sacred geometry cities spread all over the world that are basically giant dream catchers that are meant to keep you dreaming in the city energy, so you can never fully explore the unlimited dream world. The Dreamtime City dream catchers are finite. They are meant to limit you and meant to net you from your full dreams. When one wants to experience the full dream world, you visualize the North Pole Aurora Borealis, because that's literally where the neural network of our Earth hive mind is. Our Earth sentient dream mind is in the Aurora Borealis of the North Pole or the South Pole, because the South Pole also has Aurora Borealis. I tell people to go to the North Pole because that's where all your ancestors exist. And if you're going to be doing, intention is to go and do grid work, you go to the South Pole, because everything that functions through the South Pole is where all the main grid lines disseminate from. So Dreamtime itself is quite literally existing in the mind of Earth. Earth is holding the space so all ancestors can be so present. And if you're dreaming on a multidimensional level, you find your ancestral camp where you can go and literally anchor your dream body there and then project to other dimensions in safety. So that's part of the process of learning how to dream. And then there are others who strictly have out-of-body experiences. Out-of-body experiences are separate than dream time. It's where you, the physical you, creates an energy body separate of the dream time and projects to a local reality somewhere else and experiences it through the lens, the fisheye lens of the dream time of that area, and allows you to perceive the many layers that are over that area. And as your perception grows and grows and grows, you'll learn that the matrix level has one expression, the dreamtime layer has another expression, the out-of-body experience has another expression. And when we learn to maximize the efficiency of all these skills during lucid dreaming, we can take all the information and then download into our cellular memory so our brains never have a chance to forget it.
Wow. Well, I hope our listeners heard that. That was intense. I'm getting ready to start to take callers, but I have to ask you one more question because I've been thinking about this a lot. You know, in so many of your interviews, Andrew, you talk about hollow earth. I'd like to know, do you see the earth as hollow? I didn't hear you. Once again, I don't know if I know I can't hear you. I hope maybe I get some feedback in the chat room. Can you hear Andrew?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, good.
There's no body here. As I was saying, the earth isn't physically hollow. You can see that every atom is incident on space. And when we become energy, we know something.
Okay, you're breaking up because the people in the chat room are saying you're breaking up so they don't hear you so well. Okay. Yeah, they say that your connection is very sporadic. Okay.
Switch to the other facilities.
Do you want to try? Okay. A lot of people are saying to reboot, but Andrew's on a landline. So
it has to be for the BC end.
Okay. Well, wait till we could hear you. Do you want to call in another way, or do you want to stand somewhere?
I don't know what else I can do. I mean, I'm like on the phone with the phone next to my head. So.
Okay. Right now I hear you again. So just briefly before we start the reading part, I know it's energetic too. I mean, when we have some of these very high vibrational people speaking through Blog Talk Radio, this is what happens sometimes. So, okay, they said it's better. Other people are writing it's Mercury in retrograde. It could be. But so are you back? Are you okay here?
Can you hear me now?
I hear you good. Now I hear you again. Yep. Everybody's saying it's better. Good.
Okay.
Stay where you are. Is the earth hollow?
The earth is not physically hollow. In between every atom is an infinite amount of space. And when you begin to understand energy doesn't mean you have mass or volume. You can have an unlimited amount of space in between every atom. And therefore, there is a hollow earth, but it's not physically hollow like our 3D matrix expectation is. You have an unlimited amount of space between every atom that's down there, and that space can have all of the technology and spirituality and space that's required to create realities within realities.
Interesting. Well, thank you for answering that to see if it was literally hollow or just, so that makes sense. Now, I think, Andrew, are you ready to take a few callers?
Sure.
That's exciting. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. I will start with our first caller here. Okay, and let's give this a whirl. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. You're on in 5D Radio. Who am I speaking to?
Speaking to Donna.
Donna, I love you, Donna. Thank you for tuning in. You're here on the show with Andrew Bartzis. And do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Andrew, about a year and a half ago, I was having a lot of night contact with ETs, and I had a sort of a vibrating medallion put through my chest. It went down the back of my spine, and then as it came up the front, it was clearing my chakras. And it was sort of like, I get the feeling it's sort of like it was Egyptian too, like the flower of life.
You had this in a dream?
No, it actually happened. It actually, I was laying in my bed and I could feel the vibration. I thought it was actually a UFO ship outside my house.
How long ago was this?
It was a year and a half ago.
All right, I'm reading your record now. What I need you to do is do your times tables, 7 times 6, 3 times 5, 8 times 8. Do that for about 15 seconds, and I'm going to tune into the infinite you that's during that experience.
1 times 1 equals 1. 2 times 1 equals 2. 3
do more
times
complex.
1.
Don't do the just ones. Do a little more complex. It's too simplistic.
Oh,
I'm trying to.
7 times 3 equals 21. 2 times 7 equals 14. 4 times 7 equals something I can't even think. I'm so sorry, I've gone to pieces. 5 times 5 equals 25. 6 times 5 equals 30.
I've tuned into the event, and that was not a UFO event. It was actually a crossover of reunification. Part of your Lemurian self figured out how to reunify soul shards to you by creating paradox inside paradox inside paradox while you were inside a paradox disunity reality. And not only did it connect to you, it connected to the rest of your soul family. And about 630 separate people that are linked to your separate soul family had the exact same experience at that moment in history.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Could you tell me, is Rama, who was a very spiritual teacher, I think he died in the early, he died in the late 90s, and he was a very spiritual teacher. Is he part of my soul family, can you tell?
No, he's not part of your soul family. He's part of as a mystery school that you were a fundamental part of during the last fall of Atlantis. At the last fall of Atlantis, the vast majority of the people realized not only had they had completely lost the entire timeline. They'd already experienced timeline genocide 5 separate times and were about to experience it for a 6th time. At that point in time, in no time, Rama, along with tens of thousands of other very powerful beings, descended their power into wisdom and knowledge and allowed this wisdom and knowledge to be imprinted onto cave walls, onto big, giant Egyptian walls, carved into the very rock face, so that the future mystery schools, when they went and saw these things, would have the download past the timeline genocide. The timeline genocide was meant to eliminate the sentience, not the actual surface of the planet. So that's why you're intimately linked to him, because you were part of that co-creative process that made massive stone monuments that were meant to trigger people to reinvest into these mystery schools that would be vitally necessary during the awakening time between 2011 and 2014.
Oh, wow. Have I got time for one more question?
We have quite a few people here, Donna.
Okay. All right.
So
okay.
I have some lineup, but I'm so glad that you got through and that you were able to talk. And perhaps sometime you could set up a reading with Andrew or be part of one of his seminars.
Exactly.
Oh, yay, Donna.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Andrew. Much love. Bye.
Much love to you too, Donna. Bye. Okay, thank you so much, Andrew. We have another caller. Caller 518. Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Good.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes. Andrew, can you hear our caller?
It sounds wonderful. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Excuse me. Hi, my name is Claudia, and I'm calling from New York, from upstate New York, from Saratoga Springs. I'm really excited to be talking to you, and thank you for taking my call. This is great.
So what kind of question did you have for me?
I'm really interested I'm a healer, I'm a light worker, and I feel like I'm in like a gestation period right now, trying to heal myself and bring myself up, and I would love any information you have about my purpose or my soul group or how to help me be activated towards my greater purpose right now.
Well, what I need you to do is tell me about your first 10 minutes of the day. Be as specific as possible when you first woke up. Do about 45 or 50 seconds out loud. Don't tell me superfluous information about the day before or 2 hours later. Just that window of 10 minutes. Because what I'm doing is tuning into the infinite you who's who's having to transverse into the finite you.
Okay, great. Okay, so this morning I woke up at a very early hour at 4:15 in the morning to an alarm because I wake up to go rowing most
All right, I've tuned into you.
mornings.
I've read your soul group already, actually.
Okay.
You're a
Great.
very large soul group from the Pleiadian homeworld, Alcyon, and you're from the upper northern section of Alcyon. And essentially, when you migrated here, your purpose was to literally come here as a healer. Earth had been heavily damaged by forced teleportation, which it literally injured the sacred feminine of this world. So you came here to be a grid worker and a light worker to literally heal the psychic wounds that have been caused to Earth's physical spirit.
Wow. That's great. That's great to hear. That's very validating for me. It makes me feel very good. So basically I'm on the right path. Is there anything you could tell me that would help me to kind of let go of any self-imposed limitations that I have or fears? Because I definitely have fears about expressing myself and putting myself out there. Hello?
Hello?
Right here. Me?
Hi. Just a little problems hearing you. Oh, that's okay.
I didn't hear that either.
Maybe there's a reason for that. That's okay.
Andrew, are you there? Hello? Claudia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I hear you. I just don't hear Andrew right now.
You. Yeah.
And I know
apparently this booted him offline.
Oh no, he's actually
no, I hope he can come back.
Here.
Okay, good.
He's still in the show.
That's very
exciting.
Well.
Oh, and that was so interesting. So you're
I
a
know
Pleiadian.
about the Pleiadians.
I'm
very thankful for that, and whatever is meant to be at this point, that was very activating just to hear that, and it felt very resonant with me.
It sure does.
His message
you are
is very
a
true.
Healer.
Yeah.
And Andrew, can you hear us now? Hello? Andrew? Oh boy. I would love to hear him. No. It's also, he shared such powerful information when I was just speaking to him. You know, I noticed that some of the most powerful guests that I've had on shows sometimes have this energetic, it's the energy, or it's too much, or it's intense, and sometimes this happens because, again, he's on a landline, so, you know.
Yeah, I've noticed that with very high vibrational people, there's often some issues with how the equipment can work. So, you know, that's just a testament to the high vibrational people you have on your show.
Andrew, if you can hear this, I know that's so nice of you to say, Claudia. And Andrew, if you can hear this, if you can hear us now, if you want, you can log out and then call back with the same telephone number. Perhaps that would help too. So because I see that you're right there, but I can't hear you at all. Well, thank you so much, Claudia, for calling.
Thank you, Helane, and thank you, Andrew, when he comes back on. Thank you so much, both of you, and I feel very blessed to have been given the information that Andrew shared. So thank you. And have a great show. I hope you get him back. I'm sure you will soon.
I hope I do too. We have so many people waiting to speak to him.
All right. Well, good luck. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Right. Bye-bye.
Hello. How are you? This is 863. Hello. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing great. How are you?
I am good. I know who this is. I recognize the number. And I'm just waiting for our guest to come back on, or so that I can hear him.
Cool.
and be able to, connect again. I'm not sure if he's calling in a different way or if he's just sitting there, but I can't hear him at all.
Yeah, you know what's funny is when his call got cut off, I got cut off also. I had to call back in.
I'm gonna Skype him now. For our listeners that that don't know this, I'm speaking to Greg Prescott right now. He is Mr. In 5D, and so thank you so much. I know that you're calling in also to connect with Andrew.
I am actually.
I just tried to Skype Andrew to get through also, and I'm not sure how to reach him. You know, I was talking about our event as I opened the show.
Yeah. Matter of fact, what I could do is I could go into the switchboard and maybe bring him in through Skype.
Do you want to do that? You want to try that?
Yeah, let me give that a shot.
I'm gonna write to you right now with I'm gonna write you right now with his number, and we're gonna do that. I want to thank all of our listeners also for being so patient, because you see we have such a wonderful guest, and I know that. So let me do that right now. I'm gonna message you with his number, and maybe you could bring him in and try that. That's a genius idea. Okay, that's the number.
Okay.
And again, thank you to all of our listeners for being so patient. I tried one more time. Andrew, can you hear me? No. So Greg is going to try to bring Andrew back. And for folks in the chat room, if they have any comments or anything that they want to talk about, feel free. I love our friends in the chat room because they are so patient. Whitebeard, thank you, and Gemini Moon, and Manupa, thank you for understanding and being so patient. You can see that sometimes when we talk to people of such a high vibration that this happens. So we're waiting to see if Greg is able to get him in. This might be a good time to step out and get a glass of water. It could be a bathroom break for you, whatever, until we bring him back. It's nice, though, that we have so many people waiting to talk to him. And I know he's got a lot of great shows and a lot of good stuff that is coming up as well. Anybody in the chat room have anything to say? Oh, thank you for being so loving. I appreciate it. He is a very interesting guest, and thank you for sending love to me. You were in the queue and you got bumped too. I don't know why we're having such complications and such issues here tonight, but everything happens as it's meant to happen. I am so happy that Donna was able to get in, and now I'm just waiting also for Greg, who maybe is going to be able to bring Andrew on as well with the number that I just sent. So we're going to tag team it, and it's it'll be very, very interesting. You know, I had my reading with Andrew a while ago, actually June, it was in June 3rd, and it was so powerful. It was life-changing for me because a lot of things I had already known, like I had already known that I existed in other dimensions in some capacity, and I had already known that, okay, that's Andrew calling me. He said, no, we lost you. Okay. Here we go. I think we can get Andrew back. I lost you. We're still on, I'm telling him. Okay, incoming call. Hello, can people hear me now? I'm coming through a different way, and we're going to be getting Andrew back onto the show. Guests in the chat room, please let me know. Okay, now they hear me again. Okay, good. And now we're going to be getting Andrew back.
Okay, what I did, I called back in, and you see me there with the 661 area code.
Okay, wait, I have Andrew. Andrew, did you just call in?
I hear you now.
You hear me on the show, and so are you on the show? Andrew, I'm looking for your telephone number. Were you able to get through? Thank you all for your patience. We're trying to make it happen. So here we go. I'm going to go back into here. I was on Skype with Andrew, and we're going to get him back. I'm waiting for him to call in, and we're going to find him, and I thank you all for your patience.
Well, what I can do right now, Helane, is now that I'm in on Skype, I can bring him aboard via my Skype call.
Okay, he said he's on the call, so now we got to find which one is him. And so he just got in.
So I'm guessing it might be right. It might be 206.
Okay, let's try that via cell phone. Andrew, is this you?
Yeah, I am here. Can you hear me?
Ha.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We found you. We have Andrew back. Hooray. Yay. And so we're on right now. Thank you. That was major. What an effort to get you back and to figure that out. I thank everybody listening to the show for your patience and for everything. I'm so happy you're back. Yay. So
Yay.
I guess we could take a deep breath, and then we could maybe continue some of our readings. We have Greg on the line. Greg, you're here with us, right?
Yeah. Hey, Andrew.
Good.
Hey, Greg, how you doing today?
Doing great, brother. How about you?
I'm doing good today. It's been one of those great, wonderful days here in Seattle.
Hey, I just want to remind everyone, too, that Andrew's going to be on my show with Kendra on Monday night, August 5th, so be sure to check that out as well.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be
that's going to be awesome. Yay.
What kind of question do you have for me, Greg?
Okay, pretty simple, straightforward. What did I do in my past, and what do you see in the future?
All right, well, what I need you to do is tell me about your first 10 minutes of the day to be as specific as possible when you first woke up. And what I'm doing is turning into the infinite dream world you that has all your infinite codes. And what I'll do is translate the finite experiential you, and I'll be able to answer that question. So you need about 45, 50 seconds out loud. And just about that first 10 minutes when you woke up.
Okay. Woke up, came out to my computer, went right online, started working on In5D. I was first thing I do is update the news and check out my YouTube channel.
Did you dream last night?
I did, but I don't remember. And it's weird, too, because I have this strange sleep anomaly where I immediately go into the dream state all night. I get 0% of the deep sleep, but I dream all night.
Okay, that means you're in a classroom scenario. I'm tuning into this a little deeper.
Okay.
Well, this is interesting. You're asking about your past, and currently you're trying to resolve karmic resolutions with a whole range of people that are in your energetic field functioning through the radio station that you run. And these people on an energetic level, you're not physically aware of them. You're only emotionally and psychically aware of their presence. When someone does radio like you and I do, there can be tens or thousands or hundreds of thousands of people within the perspective of your crown chakra. And your dream world is what disseminates the density of these people and how important they are to your particular soul contracts this lifetime. In this lifetime, you're trying to resolve the soul contracts where you were a psychic network broadcaster of the resistance of free earth during the second fall of Atlantis when the third layer of timeline genocide wars was put into effect. And there were people using unity consciousness generators to eliminate the causality effect of paradox. They were using paradox to counter-effect paradox. And your voice existing now is a link through disunity paradox to create a standing wave of paradox inside paradox so that they have a visual psychic homing beacon in which that they can tune into this reality and find a way home.
Well, that's great. So just being on the air is helping people.
Well, more than helping, it's your resolution of contracts this lifetime, because of what your service was during the Atlantean times. You were quite literally a person that was running the timeline genocide programs, quite literally. I was in a similar scenario where you had no choice but to do timeline genocide to save the whole timeline.
That's fascinating, too, because – go ahead.
It was when you're dealing with this level of paradoxes, 30 and 40 at a time, there's no predictive modeling for it. Mm-hmm. You had to discover a way to find people a way home, and the only way for them to find a way home was for a distant future you had no idea what he was doing in the past. Using your free sovereignty will to naturally follow the evolution of your spirit. So you could reunify the parts of you that were literally killed by you when timeline genocide was in effect.
Interesting. Yeah, it's funny. I've had 3 dreams actually about being in Atlantis, and one dream was I was a scientist in charge of the genetic modification of insects and animals. And I remember it was after Atlantis had already sunk, and I was underwater, and I was looking at all the hideous creations that I made, and I was thinking to myself, we can't let this happen again. But yet, you look at Monsanto, it's happening right now. It's happening again.
It is happening again and again and again, and it's getting to the point where quite literally, what do we do to stop it? And what we do to stop it is to learn from the mistakes we made before. And those mistakes ultimately resulted in massive genetic modification that hurt millions and millions beyond our own world.
I totally agree, and it will stop, and it is coming to an end. Now, just real quick, I know that there's a bunch of callers. What do you see in the future?
What do I see for the future? Well, we're functioning in disunity paradox reality, and that means the future is literally what we make it with by reclaiming our sovereign free will at every level of existence.
Mm-hmm. So what you were saying beforehand about the dreams are creating the future is what you're saying.
The dream world is the future, but it is in an infinite future and not a finite present. We exist in the finite present. That's the paradox.
Okay.
We are limited creations because the actual volume of energy of Earth is on such a low voltage that we physically don't have all the power to use all the systems within inside our skin suit technology.
Well,
think of it.
Folks,
I have the wrong power cord to a computer. We're functioning at such a low energy level, we don't have these skills to manifest the true changes that we need. And the only way to do that is to come together in a unity consciousness through dreams, a global unity consciousness, so we can all share our energy and raise our vibratory level through the dream world, so we can once again create the infinite world within the reality.
So how close are we to the critical mass of actually having this happen?
With the state of the governmental affairs, it's creating fear that's taking more energy away from the unity consciousness creation. So unity consciousness is at a point where it's trying to reverse engineer disunity consciousness from the future. So quite literally, we have parts of ourselves in the future because we exist in a paradox, and the parts of us in the future know us like the back of the hand, except can't influence us to do anything because they don't have full sovereign free will. Only ever-present co-creative mighty I Himself has the free will to make true changes that affect the future or the past. So quite literally, it is us standing in our power saying, no, we don't want to take this, and reclaiming our sovereignty at every level of existence that we begin to truly create those changes. As I've said on many, many shows, when you see people marching in the streets in the same scale and size as the 1960s, you know you're real close. There's people marching all over the countries, all over the world right now. Our media doesn't report it, though. So that momentum needs to be transferred through the dream world so that everyone's in a state of no. I reclaim my free will. I recall my energy from this world so that we may have an infinite instead of a finite world. So we still have 15 consciousness spikes left for the rest of this year and 32 consciousness spikes for from January to August of 2014. And each time there's a spike in consciousness, that means there's a brief moment for unity consciousness, which could rapidly spread over the world like a standing wave of energy that is like the big rock falling on the pond water.
Mm-hmm.
And each and every time a person wakes up, they make a standing wave of energy that changes this unity reality.
You know, right now we're in Pluto and Capricorn, and these changes are inevitable. It has to happen with Pluto and Capricorn. So it's a really exciting time to be alive. Andrew, I'm going to let you go, brother. Kendra and I will talk to you on August 5th on N5D Radio on Monday night.
Very cool. I look forward to being on your show, too.
Thanks so much for... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm calling in. I'm calling in to your show.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for having me on your show, Helane, too.
Oh, I love it.
Right.
I love it, Greg.
You know, all right, take care, guys.
Thank you. That was really cool. You know, that here we are doing this Return to Atlantis program, and it's all tied in for him and Greg's in Greg's reading. I thought that was just very intense and mind blowing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Andrew, are you ready to take another caller?
I'm ready to take more calls.
Okay, awesome. Here we go. Here is caller 415. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you. This is Monica.
And who are we speaking to?
Monica.
Hi, Monica. Do you have a question for Andrew?
I do. I feel like, well, first of all, I'm in love with everything, your vibration. I'm so excited for everybody to find out who they are and why they're here. And thank you. Like, I have been I can't stop devouring all of your shows. I love it. My question is a little bit on soul lineage. I feel like I'm a galactic mutt. I feel like I can plop in a bunch of different places, and I feel like I've been in a holding pattern, and I'm really want to get my manifestation in this plane to help with this time. And I feel like my toolbox is really big and getting bigger, but something's just not breaking through, and I don't know if it's getting with my soul family. What passage has to happen for me to really unleash what I'm here to do?
Okay, what I need you to do is tell me about your first 10 minutes of the day. Be as specific as possible when you first woke up. Give me about 45, 50 seconds out loud, and I'm tuning into the infinite dream world you who's going through the process of having to understand and experience the finite world here. 45, 50 seconds out loud, and I'll tune into you.
Okay. I woke up about 10:30, and I was very groggy, very heavy, very like I have a hard time coming back. Where am I?
Did you dream last
night? Who am
I?
Sorry?
Did you dream last night?
Last night, not, but the night before, very profound.
Okay, tell me about that dream.
That dream was that there were a bunch of us gathered together, very festive, camping out. It felt pretty epic. There were some Hindu people. There was a dark-skinned woman, and she had a light, white-skinned baby with blue eyes. And we were seated, and the baby was about 4 weeks old, and we were all seated on the grass. And the baby turned to me and started speaking quite intelligibly, like an adult. And then after that, he took off into the air and started flying, and he turned into a white eagle. And we all said we'd never seen a baby do that, but we all recognized that he wouldn't be the last.
Okay. You're not the first person that's reported that dream to me. In fact, you're probably about the sixth that has reported the baby that flies that turns into some other type of animal. Some turned into dolphins, some turned into whales, some turned into lions or tigers or eagles. And that representation is specifically about your question about the toolbox that you have that is full.
Well, you were asked about soul family. Well, soul family needs your toolbox. And once think of a guy that's a car mechanic that has all the tools and all his friends have broken cars. Okay? Well, your soul family is equivalent. It has all the broken cars. So naturally they're going to migrate to you for your service of the toolbox that you have. And the toolbox is just teaching them how to use the tools so they can do their own work. And that's absolutely vital in every soul family, that people, when they come together as soul family, are actively processing fear and their limitations, and that they understand their expectations are their limitations and the creations of their fear. And currently, you're trying to function through expectation, and expectation is what's limiting you from finding the permanency of your soul family structure. And I'm going to describe your soul family is Arcturian. You will function with crystalline technology that's wrapped in gold or copper wire that has magnets built within it. And then there are other types of Arcturian technology that uses crystals as very specific creationary of energy vehicles, where you'll be able to manifest your body from physical body to energy form. That energy form then reforms into a crystal structure, so your whole body is a crystalline entity. And then you can make energetic doorways where physical beings can enter your crystalline structure and then be manifested into energy. And then you can literally transverse the entire galaxy or universe with your crystalline energy body as the vehicle of change or motion. That's the type of soul family you have. You're very Arcturian, and you have Pleiadian, Andromedan, and Sirian in you because you purposely invested many lifetimes in those worlds because you know they were going to be very critical during the awakening of Earth time. And your actual purpose here this lifetime is to ferry people back to their home worlds that are extended soul family members. You're supposed to be the captain and the ship at the same time that extends a circle of trust in the infinite space inside you, so that they're in a healing state in a circle of trust, so that when they're returned to their home world via the vehicle that is you, they're able to rapidly adapt to the vibration of that new world. So your toolbox you have is available for all the passengers that would be inside you during these transversing's of the galaxy. And this is something that you've done in previous lifetimes before you incarnated into Earth. And it was very much understood that once finally when Earth change was done, there were going to need to be many thousands or millions of Arcturians who are capable of doing this skill that had lived through the entire Earth, mess, the crap sandwich that we've all been fed. And it required you to have all of the experience of Earth, so that when you are transversing people back to their original homeworlds, they know you went through it. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a circle of trust. So you purposely invested yourself into this disunity matrix reality, knowing full well that it was going to offer disunity corruption and that you might not fully come out of it healed. But right now, you have come healed enough to be aware that you have a toolbox that's full, healed enough to know that you're different than many other people in the world, and healed enough to know that your particular purpose is vital, because you'll teach many other Arcturians that are damaged how to reconnect to their crystalline energy bodies, as well as the other humans that have that built within their DNA. There are non-Arcturian humans that don't have any Arcturian DNA in it, yet have learned how to use their skin suit technology to mimic the Arcturian collective wisdom. And that wisdom has to be shared freely. There cannot be any more secrets during the opening and awakening of our graduation timeline.
Wow. I'm going to have to listen to that again. Because that feels, practically speaking, what do I do in my conscious 3D life to... It's
about you understanding and processing limitation, fear, and understanding expectations is the foundation for all that. If you expect to get results, you will get no results. If you understand that your limitation is the standing wave energy in the disunity reality, you understand that the fear is you are creating a paradox so that you don't exist inside the paradox of this reality. You are countering this reality in every way, shape, and form, and recalling all of your energy from all aspects of it and unifying it into the mighty I Am Self, so that you are 100% present with all of your free will to say no to this paradox,
You cannot trap in me anymore. And then once you're at that state, you're able to share your unity consciousness mind with all the others in the Arcturian collectives that are part of the resistance of Free Earth. So it's about you daily eliminating what you've done. Like at the end of each day, you should make a personal ritual where you surround yourself in salt or candles or something that's ritually expressive and begin to literally recall what you did that day and eliminate all polarity from it so that you begin to clear your conscious mind of what happens daily, because the daily interaction with time is actually the entropy effect that keeps us stuck in disunity reality.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel that so much. And I feel what vocation or track would be good for me right now to pay my rent?
Okay, and then after this, Monica, we have to keep going because we have so many callers and our show is coming to a close soon.
Yep.
Okay. Well, for money, that's the toughest part of functioning in the disunity reality. You need it to live because disunity reality will starve you until you get more money. Pretty simple, right? Mm-hmm. You need to find that the universe offers you abundance, and you need to put trust into the universe that's functioning through unity reality, and call out to it every night and say, I need abundance in my life. I need inspiration in my life so I can co-function with this disunity reality and still create unity consciousness and resolve and find remedy within the paradox that I'm stuck in. You need money to survive, and yet you need consciousness exploration time to expand the unity consciousness that you already exist in. So it's literally asking the universe for abundance and then giving it physical definition and words each and every day. You do the practice of letting go of the day, and once you're empty of the previous day, you create the future from your heart and say, I need this abundance, universe. Help me find the inspiration and wisdom to co-create in a manner that shows me the abundance of wealth that could help me physically feed my family or beyond that.
Thank you. Got it.
Excellent. And thank you so much, Monica, for calling in. And thank you so much for listening and tuning into the shows and following them.
Always.
You're wonderful. Yep. Wonderful.
I'll see you both soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right. And Andrew, that was quite a powerful reading. A very powerful reading.
Thank you.
And so I know that we are running low on time. I guess how about one more caller? Is that good?
Sure, that's fine.
How's that feel? And then we'll wrap it up. And we're sorry for the technical difficulties, but Andrew, the things you're saying are just brilliant. And you can see one reading after the next, they change people's lives. Change people's lives.
I know.
So let's take one more caller. Here is, hello, you're on the air, Embracing What's Real. Hello?
This is Peter. Hi.
Hi, Peter. Nice to talk to you. This is Helane, and do you have a question for Andrew?
Yes. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Peter. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I had a reading from you May 30th on the radio. Mm-hmm. And yes, that was quite powerful, I must say. So I have a little comment and a question.
Okay.
You probably don't remember it, but you told me that I've been sitting in the same position for many years, and I maybe should change my position when I sit in the computer. And so I did that. I threw out this old, very old sofa. I had some very strong dreams. I had one instance of communication, and I've gone through your website and done all this removal of spiritual contracts.
Yep.
And before, I didn't mention before, but I wanted to mention that also. Before I got in contact with you, I heard Emilia Benz on the web as well, and I got the same connection with her. And then I heard Julian now recently, and the same again. Similar energy, so to speak. So that's a little status report. And the question is, I'm curious about the soul lineage. Yes.
Okay, you're curious about soul lineage.
Yes.
Well, you're in flux right now. You have a very large soul lineage. And in your consciousness exploration, you've been trying to identify the single soul lineage. And that's actually similar to the previous caller. Expectation is your limitation, and limitation is your fear. You're many. Many of us in this world are mutts. We're an amalgamation mix of everything that's here, mixed together by timeline genocide wars that have all had to be reunited. And many of us didn't have a choice with the type of mix we had. It was that or never exist in this reality, never exist in this universe, and stuff between the void between universes. So you're a mix. You're not identified as a single. What would be far better for you is to identify yourself as a new Earth species, as the individual of part of the resistance of free Earth that's saying, I am me, I am everything, I am the mighty I am self who exists in this present and has the power to create and change with the hope and love of the sovereignty of everyone, so that no individual is greater than the whole, and that unity consciousness is the expression of you. So to identify yourself as a single lineage would be a little bit of a violation of your free will right now. I know I've read you before, and I do remember who you were at that point, and you have changed significantly to who you were. And I'm going to say this, there are many, many more dreams waiting for you. And like one of the callers previously, as I was explaining, you need a higher voltage and amperage for your dream time world to literally have more space here in the finite world to make even more deeper impacts to you. So it's really important that you begin to process your dream world and actively try to create dreams before you go to sleep. I would advise you to try to make creative daydreams that focus around the powerful dreams you've had previously, so that you put yourself in the mind state of that co-creative dream world, so that you can function on a much deeper level. As I'm communicating to you right now, there are several dozen other dream entities that are interfunctioning with you, and they're actually dream warriors that are protecting you, because you hold a particular piece of puzzle that helps free a whole series of smaller soul families that have been stuck in domination and control. You lived in these smaller soul families as a seed father. The best way to say is that every soul family starts with a seed mother and a seed father. You're a co-creative seed father that came here from another universe and chose to live on Earth as your first incarnation. But that's the thing about multidimensional beings. Because you have one first incarnation doesn't mean you have 40 or 50 other first incarnations. And that's the state that you're at right now. Quite literally, you had dozens of first incarnations on dozens of worlds. So identify you as a single species only gives you a direction toward that species and not to the entire you that you are.
So it would limit me.
Yeah, it would limit you. And so it would limit the I am presence and the reclaiming of your sovereignty, free will. That means the matrix you has to expand and explore their personal understanding of these other beings, and yet and have identity to those, but also understand that that's just a small part of who you already are.
Mm.
You know, when I'm able to read someone as clear as that for you, it just shows that you've done the work on some level.
Yes.
I mean, I don't usually get to talk that freely to people simply because they haven't done the work or haven't done the understanding of the work. And when I literally say exactly what I just said to you, and I know you get it, and I know there are other people out in their audience that are scratching their head, and the other ones that got a light bulb going off in their head going, oh my God, he's reading me live. And in fact, I'm reading you, and you are a representation of tens of thousands of others that have had the exact same experience, that are coming to the understanding that they are truly a multidimensional being, and only a small part of them is living here right now. But the part that's living here is the true sovereign free will avatar that controls all the other ones.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So free yourself here, frees yourself everywhere else.
Okay. Well, I'm going to. I have a reading in queue, so at one point we're going to talk.
All right. I'll have my automated booking system should be up, and anybody that's listening, you'll be getting a email from my admin account, adminspiritdancer303@gmail, or from my assistant Eva Moore, who's taking over all of my bookings. I got so booked. I'm going to be booked all the way to October, but I'm trying to hack through as many as I can every month, about 70 every month. So I'll catch up pretty quick.
Yeah. One more small question.
Well, that was a very Peter. I know. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry,
No problem,
but we have so
Helane.
many people waiting, and I'm so glad that we had a chance to speak with you. But I've got to keep going, and I'm so sorry. But
I'm very happy.
It was so powerful, and I love that you also connected with Anelia too, and I'm still wrapping my mind around your reading right now. So wow, Andrew, you're amazing. So
thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Helena.
You're welcome, Peter. I look forward to giving you great practice.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. We usually go about an hour and a half, and we're nearing that mark. I guess. Would you like to take one more reading? How do you feel, Andrew?
How about we do one more call, and then we'll wrap it up after that and do a show summation and all that.
Exactly. That sounds great to me. So here we go with the very last call. We will take. I'm just gonna let's see what we get here. Let's randomly pick this call right here. Here we are. Hello, how are you? Hi. Hello? Okay, so I don't have that call. Let's try this one. Hello, caller 210. Caller, I think 216. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Do you have a question for Andrew? Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. And hi, Helane and Andrew. Great being on the call. My question, I guess, is how would I be able to? Because everything I've been doing has been operating on intuition and inner knowing, but I would really like to have a direct connection and be able to see and hear my higher self and kind of just go from there. And also, I haven't been able to remember any of my dreams for quite some time. I get a sporadic here and there.
All right. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Harold, and I'm calling from San Antonio, Texas.
Harold, San Antonio, Texas. All right. The actual question that you asked me is how do you see your higher self, and that answer is that's expectation, limitation, and fear. And every time you're processing expectation, limitations, and fear, you actually prevent yourself from ever having those experiences. So literally it's letting go of all of the desires, needs, and concepts of having that experience for that experience to occur.
Understand.
All right. The next thing is how you actively process your daily skills. Like I spoke to the other caller, you need a process in which you can let go of the day's expectations and clear them out. Because one day leads to the next day of expectation. It creates a chain of expectations that ultimately limits you so much that you'll never truly have the remembering of dreams and the remembering of your higher self. So it's literally living in the ever-present mighty I am self moment so that you can have the experiences free of limitation and fear.
Right, because I feel like I'm doing a lot in dream time, and maybe this 3D vessel is not able to absorb and process all of that information and that download, and maybe that...
It is able to do it, but the you that has to process it cannot do it. And the limitation is fear. The limitation is expectation. And when you put fear and expectation together, you create a truly disassociative limitation that keeps you in this disunity paradox. It keeps you literally stuck in the creation of paradox as the remedy to timeline wars.
Because I'll tell you right now, you're Lemurian all the way. You were born on this world as part of the original first species of Earth before it was replaced by 72 separate first species of Earth through timeline genocide. So it puts you in a double paradox many times over. And you existed in all the rises and falls of Lemuria and all the rises and falls of Atlantis. And during the times where Earth was a refugee planet, you reached out to other worlds to find the worst of the worst people so that they can come here and be healed by the best healers of the world. You were essentially like a fixer. If somebody had a soul sickness that was uncurable on their planet, you found a healer on this world that was able to travel to that world or brought that person here.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm doing that now. I feel like I'm a hub to connect people with the right other people to heal whatever fevers and doubts they have.
And that's you. You're a fixer. But you also got to understand the fixers are in the worst situation right now because they can't fix anyone until they fix themselves.
Right. Absolutely.
And every time you try to fix others before you fix yourself, you make your situation infinitely worse because you're stuck in multiple paradoxes. So the fixers of the world are the ones that need to be fixed first so that they can begin fixing the people that need to be fixed.
And how do I attain, it's kind of a dumb question, but how do I attain this, how do I go about fixing myself? Is it through meditation?
Reclaiming of your sovereignty and free will at every level. Are you familiar with my contract removals?
No, I just found your website through this today.
Okay, well, if you go to my website, andrewbartzis.com, and you go to the tabs on the left, all the way at the bottom, you see Removal of Contracts tab, and it'll show you a series of examples, and then you'll see 3, one for banking, one for media, one for government. Go ahead and read those out loud, and those are there for people to change at will, but it is a framework of understanding that this is how deep it goes. And if you don't reclaim all of your sovereignty from all of those parts, whether you take the parts and expand it by 7 pages because of the creative you that's saying, no, I'm using all of my sovereign free will to eliminate all of my contracts with all of this disunity matrix so all of me is here so I can complete my purpose and have a complete soul.
Absolutely. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Awesome.
Scroll down to the one that says revocation of media contracts.
I see it.
Okay, read that out loud. I know it'll take you 2 minutes here. We'll go over a little bit. Read that out loud so that people can hear the expression in your voice from the first person that's never seen these before.
Contract removal for media systems?
Yeah, for media systems.
Okay. I call to all spiritual contracts that exist within my past, present, and future beings, selves and existence in this dimension and time stream, all time streams above and below, the entire centric sine wave of coexistence. At this exact moment, in the ever-present, co-creating moment, I summon all DNA lineage ancestors to create a unified, proper spiritual court of equity, so I may find remedy and resolve with all contracts that have inserted fine print during the pre-birth and birth process. I call forth the proper spiritual court of equity to hear my decree of contract removal. I revoke all spiritual contracts with earth-based media systems using domination and control as a means of energy harvesting, fear instigation, or reality manipulation with energetic propaganda technologies. I call forth all ancestors of all soul relations to hold space in this spiritual court of equity. I call to Earth Mother and all her light denizens within all inner and outer space to come forward and occupy the spiritual court of equity. O great mystery, who is the source of all power, I call to you. Come with your sacred synchronicity, so all beings may hold space with unity consciousness. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with all media personalities that do not have full use of free will and full knowledge of our DNA ancestry. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with all media agencies, corporations, and media-based family crests. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts, assumptions, presumptions, and statistical models that predict my habit patterns through the use of commercial advertising intertwined with the system of domination and control. I do not consent consent to etheric grid broadcasting over public airwaves, television, internet, radio, or any other means or methods that propagate propaganda for mass consumption. I do not consent to predictive modeling by etheric or commercial means. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with all media-based sacred geometry buildings. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with the sacred geometry, media, presidents, shareholders, news anchors, news reporters, pundits, talking heads, and all representations of government officials within the entire global media network. You have no power over me with your presumptions of knowledge. We are manifesting, co-creating spirits. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with all new regurgitating systems, crawlers, websites, search engines, print media, and all forms of etheric propaganda used within all these systems. I revoke all presumptions of consent with all media agencies. I revoke all assumptions with all advertising agencies that are funded by the system of domination and control. I do not consent with any advertising systems targeting soul groups, soul migrations, or the spiritual incarnation process. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts that limit the genetic, free-willed expression of all sentient kind. I revoke all spiritual contracts that define the media as our tellers of oral traditions or generational teachers. I revoke all contracts with the sacred geometry, satellite broadcasting system. I revoke all contracts with etheric artificial intelligences that use sacred geometry satellite systems as a means to hijack my information stream. I do not consent to psychic monitoring or influencing from any media system that services a system of domination and control. I hereby demand the instant removal of all broadcast-based psychic parasites and their propagation and harvesting system that creates herds of psychic parasites. I revoke all contracts that use my life force as a false form of consent for the propagation and spreading of psychic parasites with all my DNA soul relations. I hereby revoke all soul contracts that grant the media power to last beyond one generation of history. I demand all rights of generational knowledge to be returned to the
Hello? Hello? Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I lost Harold, and it was so powerful. And everybody in the chat room was like, wow, and talking about how powerful this contract is and how unbelievable it is as he's reading it out loud. And
everyone got to experience is what it is for the first person to read it for the first time, never having any experience of it before. It was so powerful it shut the phone off because it was a revocation of media. I encourage people to add to that, change it, modify it. The very beginning of it defines how to set up a proper spiritual court of equity so everyone is present, all ancestors are present, and it prevents the forces of domination and control to use spiritual courts of equity against you. It is only your proper spiritual ancestors that are there to hear your revocation of contracts because it's the true declaration of your sovereign free will and saying, I am the mighty, I am present self, separate of my past and future personalities.
Wow. It was so powerful. So what happened? What's going on energetically in this was that interference?
No, that is him tapping into his mighty I am self and revoking media contracts over a radio station, and BTR is in a scenario where it's very fragile when people function with that type of high energy because the servers for BTR have been, let's just say, manipulated in such a way when something goes very high energy, if you're not capable of massaging the energy, it'll get freaky. And that's the application of the technology, the etheric technologies.
Well, that was incredibly powerful, and I'm so glad you finished that up, and I'm still blown away. This has been such an amazing show. You've had what you've said was just so life-changing for everybody you spoke to and for everybody that was listening. And it's a lot for people to wrap their minds around. And I'm going to put this on video so that people can listen to this again and again. And, Andrew, I know we're running out of time, so I'd like to ask you if there's a closing message you'd like to leave with our listeners.
The message that I'd like to leave you is my entire purpose here as a species identifier, as a galactic historian, as a reader and a healer, is to empower you so that you may have the tools to heal yourself, your family, your friends, your loved ones, so that we all may unite in unity consciousness and finish this disunity paradox that we've been forced to live in. We are all members, a cell of one of the resistance of free earth, and we all become a master cell of the resistance of free earth. We manifest unity consciousness, and we no longer have to deal with a system of domination and control, and we're able to naturally return to the density of our home planet to determine if earth is where we want to coexist and procreate the new forces of the life. I honor everyone that's listening, past, present, and future. I honor everyone that's a part of this broadcast, and to say I love every one of you, and we are all the mighty I Am selves. And when the mighty I Am selves agrees to do something, there is nothing that stops us.
Andrew, we love you so much, too, and thank you so much for the job you do for humanity, for the world, for the universe, for the galaxy, for everything that exists. Thank you for offering me this opportunity to present, and I know that you're a presenter on many different scales. And when I physically met you in Mount Shasta, I knew who you were. I mean, the mountain is what brought you there, and that's the way Mount Shasta works. If you're not to be on the mountain kicks you off, and you were there in the fullness of your being, and I love everything that's about you. Me too, and I can't wait to see you again. And I thank you so much for joining us today. It was wonderful. It was powerful. It was incredible. I also want to say thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in to Embracing What's Real in 5D Radio. I am taking next week off. I am going to Mount Shasta, and so I'm not going to be around on Wednesday, July 24th. But on July 31st, our special guest will be Rashmi Kilnani, author of The Divine Mother Speaks. And for more information about upcoming programs, you can visit my website, www.insightsbyhelane.com. You can also find out more about what's going on by visiting my Facebook page, Helane Lipson. And if you'd like to learn more about Andrew, set up a reading with Andrew, hear about some of his upcoming programs that he has and the live webinars, you can find him at www.andrewbartzis.com. Until we meet again, remember, dream big, love big.
That's right. Dream big.
Dream big. And know you're a divine being, and anything is possible. Anything and everything is possible. So thank you all. Namaste.